Hey guys, what's going on? This video is a bit different. If you have followed this channel for a while, you might be expecting a tutorial, a guide, or something structured, something practical. But today, we're diving into something deeper, something psychological, something uncomfortable. Today, I want to talk about how we see people, how we measure them, and how we judge them without even realizing it. We live in a world where a person's worth is decided before they even speak. We measure people by their money, their beauty, and their social status. But why? That's what we are exploring today, a psychological dive into the way we judge, the way we justify, and the way we replace people. This isn't a tutorial, it's a structured discussion, a question rather. And maybe by the end of this video, you'll start asking it too. I want to talk about how we see each other, how we measure each other, how we judge and discard people if they are nothing more than tools, as if their entire existence can be summarized by a few visible traits: money, beauty, status, and power. We live in a world where a person's worth is often decided before they even open their mouth. A wealthy person enters a room and we subconsciously assume they are competent, intelligent, deserving. A poor person does the same and we assume the opposite. We meet an attractive person and we are drawn to them without even knowing if they are kind or cruel. We meet someone struggling in life and we immediately wonder, what did they do wrong? But is that how reality works? Is success always earned? Is failure always deserved? We like to think so. Because if we admit that so much of life is luck, that where we are born, who we meet, what opportunities fall into our lap, if we admit that these things shape us more than effort alone, then what happens to our belief in fairness? We like the idea that effort guarantees success because it makes the world feel predictable. It makes us feel in control. But reality isn't fair. It never was. Have you ever noticed how we don't apply the same rules to ourselves that we apply to others? When we fail, we have a story to justify it. I was unlucky. I had a bad childhood. No one supported me. The system is broken. And maybe that's all true. But when we see someone else failing, we don't ask for their story. We just assume, we think they must be lazy. They must have made bad choices. We believe in free will, but we rarely acknowledge how conditioned we truly are. A child raised in violence grows up learning that power is survival. A child raised in neglect learns that love is not guaranteed. A child surrounded by betrayal learns to stop trusting. We look at a criminal and say, he chose this path. But did he? Or was he set on this path long before he even understood what choice was? B.F. Skinner, the famous psychologist, once said, a person does not act upon the world acts upon him. We like to think we shape our own destiny, that we are independent, that we decide who we become. But how much of our personality is truly ours? How much of it is just a reflection of the world we are thrown into? And then there's the way we use each other. We say we value people. But what do we really value? Their kindness? Their intelligence? Their humanity? Or do we just value what they do for us? Think about it. How many people in your life would still be there if they no longer benefited from knowing you? Would your friends still be your friends if you had nothing to offer? Would your relationships still exist if they stopped fulfilling a need? People say love is unconditional. But then, why does it fade when circumstances change? Why do we replace people the moment we find someone better? We like to believe we are different, that we don't use people, that we don't discard them like old technology. But have you ever stopped texting someone simply because you found someone new? Have you ever lost interest in a friend when they stopped being exciting? Have you ever abandoned someone when their struggles became inconvenient for you? Chances are the answer is yes. Then ask yourself, how many people have done the same to you? How many times have you been replaced, forgotten, treated like a placeholder until someone better came along? And here's the painful truth. This isn't about good people or bad people. It's about human nature. We are wired to seek advantage, to surround ourselves with those who serve a purpose in our lives. Some do it with kindness, some with cruelty. But the result is the same. We value people as long as they are useful to us. And when they stop being useful, we let them go. So, what does that say about us? What does it say about love, about friendship, about the connections we build? Are we all just pretending? Is everything just a transaction? Anais Nin once wrote, "We do not see things as they are, we see them as we are." We judge people not for who they are, but for how they fit into our world. A kind person who is poor is naive. A kind person who is rich is humble. A cruel person who is poor is dangerous. A cruel person who is rich is powerful. Same traits, but different judgments, all depending on who they are and where they stand. And yet, we walk around pretending we are fair, that we are logical, that we see things as they truly are. But what if we stopped? What if for once we looked at someone and asked what made them this way? What if instead of assuming, we understood? What if we saw people as unfinished stories instead of final products? Would it change anything? Would it make us kinder? Or are we so deep in the system of judgment, this habit of measuring and discarding, that even knowing all this, we would still continue doing it? That's the real question, isn't it? Even if you understood that people are not just what they appear to be, even if we know that worth cannot be measured in money, beauty, or status, or power, will we ever truly stop measuring? Will we ever stop weighing people against what they can offer us? Or is this just how we are built? I don't have the answer, but maybe the real challenge isn't finding an answer. Maybe the challenge is simply to ask the question. That's it for this video, guys. See you in the next one.